From a dilapidated backyard shed to a multi-million-dollar powerhouse, Willie Robertson shares the history behind his family's success. Plus, Ephraim Graham stops by with this week's entertainment news. All that and more on today's 700 Club Interactive. Well, happy Thanksgiving and welcome to the show. Here's Ephraim Graham with this week's Top 5 from Studio 5.
At number 5. It's Bieber and Baldwin making headlines again. Take a close look at Hailey Baldwin's Instagram page, and you'll notice this.
It's Instagram official. Model Hailey Baldwin changed her Instagram handle to Hailey Bieber to confirm her long-speculated September marriage to Justin Bieber. Leaving no doubt, Bieber himself posted a pic of him and Hailey holding hands with the caption, "My wife is awesome."
At number 4.
Hey CBN, this is Russ Lee with New Song and Winter Jam, and you're at the 2019 Winter Jam launch party with a behind-the-scenes exclusive look at Winter Jam 2019.
It's Christian music's largest annual tour, and Studio 5 is backstage with a look at who's on the bill.
Newsboys United, Danny Goki, Mandisa, Rend Collective, Ledger, hosted by New Song.
Something secret.
Yes.
That we're going to tell you here, right? So we've been working on a new record, the six of us together.
Is that a true story? A new record?
Brand new record, Newsboys United record.
Hey, stop the presses. I need you just to blast social media and tell them that Winter Jam's got the Newsboys United, and they're going to be doing some brand new music.
The Newsboys, brand new 5 EP song EP of the new United music will be available for your little ears on that tour.
The tour kicks off January 11th, and the first stop is Jacksonville, Florida.
Experience Winter Jam like never before.
At number 3. DC's Museum of the Bible hosts the premiere of the film Revival the Experience.
Our production is the staging of an old story.
Half hour, people!
It's a hybrid of film, Broadway musical, and animation, looking at the book of John and the work of actor Harry Lennox.
You must love one another.
Imprisoning him is not our request.
What then?
Death.
Let your will be done, not my will. Let your will be done, not my will.
It's being called the hippest experience of the gospel world, and it's in theaters December 7th. At number 2.
I feel it's right to ask you guys to join me for one last dance.
And in this, his final season, playing in the NBA, the Miami Heat's Dwayne Wade has another reason to be thankful. His wife, actress Gabrielle Union, sharing on Instagram the arrival of their daughter, Kavia James. And the newborn already has her own Instagram page with more than 150,000 followers.
Can I not be there in moments that they need me? Can I not read to my kids as much as I want?
At number 1.
Tonight, Cicely Tyson receives her more than well-deserved Oscar.
The Academy honors Cicely Tyson for an incredible acting career.
I am led by divine guidance. It's when I go against it that I get myself into trouble.
God's guidance led a poor immigrant girl from Harlem to Hollywood for roles in Sounder, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, Roots, and The Help.
Miss Charlotte, let me take her to the kitchen. Mom? I know you didn't want me to do this, but I did. And here it is.
Tyson accepted the Academy's Governor's Award surrounded by younger celebrity friends who thanked her for opening the door for them.
Next month, on December 19th, I'm going to be 94 years old.
Well, Cicely's now 94. Ephraim's with us. What do you think about her career?
Oh, it is an amazing career. I remember as a kid watching her. She was nominated for an Oscar for Sounder, and I think that was in 1973. She's never received an Oscar. It's nice to see her get this Oscar. I mean, her life alone is amazing. This woman wanted to be an actress. Mom didn't like it, said it went against their Christian faith, and threw her out of the house. If this is the career you're going to choose, you're out. So Cicely Tyson ended up on her own as a young woman trying to make a go of it in New York City. She does manage to, someone spots her, she gets a job as a model. That then leads to some acting jobs and so forth, and she does well. And she tells this story where Mom came to see one of the shows, and although Mom clearly didn't want her to do it, she said at the end of the show, everyone is praising Cicely Tyson, and Mom is busy talking, saying, "Oh yeah, I always knew she had it in her." And Cicely's like, Mom. "Okay, Mom, you threw me out of the house."
You threw me out.
But Mom did in the end see her work and did say, and she shares the phone call. She goes, "Where, you know, Mom, I did this." And she goes, "There's silence." She goes, "Mom, you've got to say something." And then her mom says, "I am proud of you." And she said, her mom never said that. Anything else that happened after that would have meant nothing to her because she wanted to make her mom proud. And she did.
And she did.
And she did.
And she did.
Yes.
And she followed that light.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And she says, you know, that the only time she's ever made a mistake is when she didn't follow what God had for her life. So she was fearful when she left home, but she felt like, this is what God wants me to do. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I hate to disobey my mom, but I got to do it. And we see what happened.
And here she is.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah,
you
raising an Oscar, finally.
Yes, finally.
All right, let's, I don't know why I want to talk about Justin Bieber, but I do.
Everyone wants you to, too.
Everybody wants me to?
We do.
All right, the secret marriage is now not so secret.
Not a secret. Hailey Baldwin just last week changes her Instagram page, and she is now Hailey Bieber, which I suspected when cameras followed them to the courthouse in New York City and saw them leaving, and then automatically after that, they go to Europe on a trip. And like, okay, that was the honeymoon. That was the wedding. And supposedly at some point, there'll be a public ceremony that he will do in Canada. But by all indications, yes, they are indeed a married couple. But it goes with what his faith is, too.
Those are public records.
Yes.
I'll be a lawyer now.
Yes, I know.
Those are public records. I mean, I can't believe that some enterprising reporter hasn't looked at the public records for, I mean, you have the photograph of them at that clerk's office. Those are public records.
They're easy to get, and I'm surprised that no one had published them before now as well.
So, are you going to go to New York now?
I'm actually going to be in New York on Monday. I could go to the courthouse and go look for that.
Take a camera phone with you.
There you go. We got it.
Take a shot. It'll go viral.
You're inspiring. You're inspiring.
All right, let's look at another marriage. Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union wrote an autobiography. I guess it's been a little less than a year, where she shared some of the struggles of her and her husband trying to have a child and the fact that they weren't. So they were actually, via surrogate, had a baby. This was announced, I think it was last week. Her name is Kavia James. James comes from another member of her family. She wanted to give him, her daughter, that name. And it was very, very hush-hush. It wasn't until they shared it on Instagram and social media that they had that little girl. She was born November 8th, and there'll be a special in about a week on OWN on the whole process and how this has all happened for them. And this is his last year in the NBA.
Are sweet.
Yeah, really, really sweet. Happy
what a career he's had.
Indeed, indeed.
All right.
Yeah.
What else do you want to talk about?
Up to you.
I'm just throwing it to you.
What else is there? We have the Winter Jam announcement. That is a tour that kicks off January 11th, I want to say. And Newsboys United, they announced they're actually, it's all 6 of them, because we know that they don't typically share the stage, but they do this time around. And they've got a new extended EP that will come out at the time of the tour. So that, for Newsboys fans, the one thing that I've been trying to get from them and some commitment anytime I talk to them was this: are we ever going to see DC talk back together again? So we still haven't gotten that commitment, but they are at least putting out some new music for this tour.
Is it good?
I haven't heard the new music yet.
You haven't heard it?
I haven't heard it yet, but they said the 11th of January.
Are you going to Winter Jam?
I will probably catch them in Nashville. Probably.
Really?
Yeah, probably. I did last year, probably last year. The only thing I'm disappointed in is last year they had a comedian traveling with them as well, which was fun. And they don't have that comedian this year, or a comedian on the tour, which I thought was a disappointment. But
okay. Revival, the experience is going to premiere at the Museum of the Bible.
That's right. They will premiere at the Museum of the Bible December 5th.
What are you expecting here?
I expect it to be really good. I was really surprised. Harry Lennox, you've seen in a lot of television shows. He's been around for a long time. I didn't know anything about his faith, but he followed me on social media and sent a message. And I thought, oh, didn't know you were a believer. You're the 700 Club. How cool is that? And he's been working on this project for a long time. It's been his passion project to bring the book of John to life on stage and in film. It's a unique way. I can't wait to see it. The premiere is December 5th. It'll release in theaters on the 7th. The premiere will be in D.C. on the 5th of December.
Okay, so it's coming up. That's just around the corner.
Yeah.
All right.
Very soon.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. All right, for all the latest in entertainment news, check out Ephraim's weekly show, Studio 5, and do like others and go follow Ephraim on social media, and you can actually send him messages, and he will respond. Yes. You can watch it online, cbn.com/Studio5. Well, up next, we've got Duck Dynasty's Willie Robertson's in the house, and you'll hear how he went from making duck calls in his garage to becoming one of America's most famous entrepreneurs. If you think you've got the next big idea, you don't want to miss this. Stay with us. Well, with his beard and signature bandana, Duck Dynasty's Willie Robertson is a famous face all over the world. So how did he and his family turn a humble regional duck call business into an international powerhouse brand? Take a look.
Willie Robertson's entrepreneurial efforts started in grade school. But when his candy business got shut down, he turned his attention to his dad's fledgling business, Duck Commander. 4 decades later, Willie, now the CEO of the family business, helped launch the mega successful Duck Dynasty television show. In his latest book, American Entrepreneur, Willie shares what it means to be an American business owner and how 400 years of risk takers, innovators, and business visionaries built the USA.
Well, Willie's here, and it's great to have you on the show. And
good to be here.
Let's go back to the humble beginnings, because they
good old
were
days.
Really humble beginnings.
The good old days, yeah. Not as well. We talk about it. I mean, we didn't have a lot of money, but you know, I guess compared to other people in the world, they weren't. You know, at least we were eating. And Dad was fishing all the time, and he was a commercial fisherman. That's what we were doing to pay our bills. And so if the fish are running, pretty good. And like Phil always said, the less money you make, you know, you may eat fish a lot. Once we made a little bit more money, we could start eating more steak. So that's kind of how it went. And he had this duck call, and he came with the idea in 1972. Actually patented. At the time, there was a reeded duck call. He didn't invent a duck call. It was a reeded duck call.
Single reed.
Single reed. He took 2 together and put them together, and that's what he came up with and patented it. And you know, he would tell these big stories about how many he was going to sell one day. And he said we'd sit around that dinner table, the same one we have, you know, dinner out in the show, and he'd say, "Boys, we're going to sell $1 million worth of these one day." And I didn't know how that was going to happen. I really didn't have the vision, I guess, when I was a youngster.
Did you believe it when he said it?
Well, I didn't know it, but Dad was pretty good about, you know, he was good about figuring stuff out. And I thought, I don't know how that's going to happen. And so as we grew up, we did every aspect of the business. We were the employees. We used to dip the duck calls, and you dip them in there, and then you would hang them on a board. And the ends of my fingers were always brown. I was always embarrassed, and I would keep my hand closed because people would ask, like, "What's that on your fingers?"
You dip them in tongue oil.
Dip them in tongue oil, yes. And he had a sheet of plywood with nails, and so you had to lean them just right so they would, you know, dry. Then you would sand, right, because you'd have one little deal that you'd have to sand. Then we sanded duck calls all the time, cleaned the shop out. We answered the phone. We were customer service. We did duck call demonstrations because people would call and say, "How do you blow this thing?" Or "Mine doesn't work. I'm blowing it from the wrong end." And so we did every job at Duck Commander as kids.
How did you become CEO? Because you're not the oldest.
Well, I'm not the oldest.
Typically, you think the oldest is going to
You would think that. Well, the oldest in our family became a minister. So. And we all actually, Jace, Al, and I all went to seminary, so we thought we may be preachers. But I think
that's a story that's not told.
No, it's
you all went to seminary.
We were all there at the same time, which is funny. Yeah, because Al was later in life. He'd kind of went through a rough stage in his life, and then came back and wanted to be a minister. Now he ended up being a minister, you know, for years and years. Jace did it and was like, it's not for me. So he went straight to work for Dad. I went for half of the program, but I was dating this girl named Corey, who I really thought I was going to marry, and she said, I'm going to college. And I said, well, I'm in seminary. She goes, well, I'm going to college. I said, all right, maybe I'll go to the college and we'll figure out. This will be a sign. I'll come back to this. I can always reference you out. Yeah, I can get that later. I don't want you to go to college alone because I figure I would lose her quick. So we were from the same hometown. But I think what had a lot to do with why I did that was because I always was about business. When I was a kid, I had a worm farm. When I was in 4th grade, I sold. My cousins reminded me, they said, Willie, you sold pot holders for a while. There was a little grate, and you would stitch these things together, and I would sell these pot holders. I used to make them for my mom. Oh, yeah. Well, I made them and sold them to my cousins, apparently, who obviously couldn't cook at the time because they were young. But so I started just selling everything, trading, cards, bartering stuff. I'd trade up.
You sold pot holders to kids who didn't cook?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's the case. I didn't even remember it. This had to be in 1st grade. I was doing this, and I
think you're born to this.
But my big break came when, because Dad was kind of a legendary hunter down there, and so people would come down and give us stuff, and they gave him a box of gum like that, like a whole box, like you'd see in a store, and I ended up with that gum, and I didn't know what to do. It was like it was wrecking me. Looking at this, I was, do I chew all this gum or do I? And so I said, I'm going to sell this. So I took it on a school bus, started selling it. And I'm like, man, it's going berserk. And so I went. Mom took me up to town. We got big boxes of lemon heads, all this candy that whatever the concession stand didn't sell. So what I went and bought. And literally started dealing this stuff all day out of my locker, making a fortune. And the true story, the principal called me down to the office, and I strolled in there, and he says, are you selling gum and candy out of your locker? I said, yes, sir, doing pretty good. And he said, I met with the concession stand, their sales are down, I got to shut you down. And so my business went to pot, and I tried to sell pencils and stuff, and then I ended up doing this thing called the human jukebox, where I'd get on the school bus, and people would put quarters under my arm, and I'd act like I was a jukebox, and I would sing songs for a quarter. And it wasn't as lucrative as the bubble gum, but it was at least a way to make a little money. So yeah, I kind of always had that knack, and went away from the business. Never really thought I'd work for Duck Commander. Didn't have a clue I'd ever work down there for Dad. I kind of was like, I've done this, I'm going on, I'm doing something different. Corey and I got married, went to college, I got my degree. And that was another thing, was I'd gotten my degree and didn't know what I was going to do. I ran a little Christian camp, and so I didn't make a lot of money, but had a lot of fun doing that. Corey and I were together, had John Luke, had Sadie, so I was able to spend a lot of time with them. And then my late 20s, I got the hankering. I said, hey, so I said, Dad, remember I used to sell all that stuff? And the business at that point was kind of down. Dad thought he had pretty much done everything he was going to do. And I said, well, let us take it over. So Corey and I took it over, and we brought all this energy because we came in like it was fresh. Jace had been working there a while, and everybody was like, we don't know how to sell more duck calls. And really came in there and shifted some stuff around. This is at the time the internet was coming, so I remember going to Dad. I said, Dad, look, we've got to go from VHS tapes to DVDs. And he was like, that's a terrible idea, you know. And I said, Dad, this is way better product. And he's like, I have a VHS player. I said, I know, but you're like one of the last people. So he said it was a bad idea. I said, Dad, we need to have a website so that we can move our products and people are going to buy this stuff online. He said, that's a terrible idea. And I'm like, Dad, that's how people are going to buy stuff. He said, if people want to order our product, they can pick up the phone and call. And I said, Dad, we're going to have, so we did the website. And the last bad idea he said I had was doing a television show. He was like, that's a terrible idea. And a bad idea, it'll never work. So I often remind Dad, I said, Dad, these are the things you thought wasn't going to happen. And so it was a real transition. And I love it because Mom and Dad were able to really let that happen while they were still there. And so still working for the company. And they were like, hey, you take it. And y'all got the ideas. And so Corey and I I'm writing the book a lot about Corey and how much she helped because she came from a business background. And so.
And I think that's an untold story.
It really, I mean, she came from a business background. They had sold a whole business to Sam Walton. They had sold their publishing company to Simon Schuster. And so, yeah, they had built a lot of businesses and sold them. So. She was all about business. And
who comes up with all the marketing ideas?
We all do. We came up with, yeah. Somebody asked me, well, who came up with the beards and hair as a marketing idea? And Dad says, that's a northwest wind came up with that. So blowing in our face when we're sitting out there duck hunting is like freezing. So there was no marketing guru that said this should be the look. And obviously it became kind of the look. We know that through the TV
one of my
show.
favorite ones is everybody dressed in camo in a room that's camo.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And,
that was a miserable shoot. I'll never forget
really?
that day. Well, those things were, they were like, I don't know what, it was like the thickest material, and it didn't breathe, and they had it all cut. And so I go to put my pants on. I'm about, 7 inches short from meeting, the button to the hole here. And I go, there was a Russian lady who was the seamstress, and I go, ma'am, my pants don't fit. And she goes, take off the trousers. And I went, do you want me to go somewhere? And she went, take off the trousers. I said, oh, just right in front of you. Okay, man. And she went, and just ripped the back of them, and then she sewed it back. They were barely on in the back. And that's how I had to sit in that commercial and do that from the back. So that's a little behind-the-scenes stuff of Duck Dynasty. I wish I did stuff.
All right, there's more behind-the-scenes stuff in his wonderful book, American Entrepreneur. You get the inside story of how Duck Dynasty really became a dynasty. And then, on top of it, there's more risk-takers, innovators, business visionaries, all built in the USA. It's available nationwide today. Make a great Christmas gift. Willie, thanks for being with us.
Appreciate it. It's good to be here.
All right. Well, still ahead, does your Thanksgiving look like this? See how one family learned to put down their devices and discover what really matters. Stay with us. Well, we're asking you to join us in a Robertson holiday tradition, and each year we give a special gift to those in need that equals the money we spend on our Thanksgiving meal, our Christmas Eve meal, Christmas Day meal. And so if you'd like to join in with that tradition, when you send a gift of $25 or more, we'll send you 2 exclusive holiday treasures. One is My Father Reading a Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and that's now on CD. And then CBN documentaries, we have Christmas, the story behind the traditions. That is filmed in 8 countries. It takes you around the world to discover the history of Christmas, the meaning behind the traditions we all love to celebrate. Both of our gift to you when you send a special gift of $25 or more to bless those in need. So if that's you, call us now, 1-800-700-7000. And speaking of the holiday season, it's Thanksgiving, and we all know this day kicks off a very busy season for most of us. Here's a fun reminder from the Skit Guys to pay attention to what's really important.
Dad? Dad? What are you doing? Now that I have all of your valuable attention, because trust me, nobody likes texting and twittering and snap imaging as much as I do, I just want to take this opportunity to tell you how thankful I am for all of you. I'm thankful for this meal, because nobody makes green bean casserole like your mama. And I'm thankful for this family, watching you grow and follow your dreams. It's an honor to pray for each of you when I go to bed every night. And I'm thankful I can still chew my own food.
All right, you go next.
Huh?
Go.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I'm not as thankful for the green bean casserole as this guy is. But I am thankful. I'm thankful that God blessed me with a dad.
Well, in the busyness of the holidays, make sure you pay attention to what's really important, and that is thanking God and thanking your loved ones, letting them know how much they mean to you. Here's a word for you from Ephesians chapter 5, verse 20. And give thanks for everything to God the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. And today, above all days, please give thanks to Him for the many blessings we all enjoy. Thanks be to God. Hallelujah.